No, listen carefully. I'm here to tell you something of profound importance, a truth that can fundamentally alter the way you navigate this chaotic existence. You see, in life we are invariably confronted by individuals whose behavior is toxic, people who seem bent on undermining your potential, sowing discord, and diminishing your inner fortitude. But let me be clear from the outset, it is not by cutting these people off or by setting arbitrary boundaries and avoiding them that you claim your power. No, that is merely a superficial attempt at survival, an act of retreat from the deeper, more arduous work required to truly master yourself. In my experience, and this is not mere theory, those who seek to poison your mind are not anomalies confined to the margins of society. They lurk in our workplaces, hide behind the facade of kinship, and even masquerade as friends. Their influence is insidious, pervasive, and if left unchecked, can leave lasting scars on your character. And so, you might be tempted to think that simply moving away, changing your environment, or isolating yourself is the panacea. But let me be unequivocal. If you allow your emotional energy to be captured by these individuals, then you have already ceded a portion of your power to them. Now, imagine for a moment that toxic people are like a virus, a pernicious agent that can only propagate in a vulnerable, weak immune system. They wield one potent weapon: your reaction. Every time you respond with anger, frustration, or even a trace of self-doubt, you inadvertently grant them permission to persist. They thrive on this reaction. They are fueled by the chaos you allow to seep into your being. And so the most effective strategy is not to wage a war by slashing them off or running away, but to fortify your inner self to the point where their provocations simply do not register. I'm not advocating for cold indifference or a lack of empathy. Rather, I am urging you to engage in a profound process of self-mastery. The idea is to cultivate a resilience so deep, so robust, that external disturbances, no matter how venomous, become like background static, mere noise that you have learned to ignore. This is the essence of true strength, not the kind that manifests in overt confrontation or loud declarations, but the silent, steadfast power of a well-ordered mind and soul. Consider the implications of this approach. When you decide consciously to no longer react to toxic behavior, you are not showing weakness. On the contrary, you are asserting your independence from their control. Toxic people are adept at manipulating the emotional landscape around them. They know that if you engage, if you give them the satisfaction of your emotional response, they will continue to press their advantage. They thrive on your vulnerability. But if you remain calm, if you refuse to be drawn into their vortex of negativity, you undermine their very foundation. It is akin to stripping a virus of its host. Without the opportunity to react, its power is nullified. This process is not instantaneous. It requires consistent effort, a disciplined mind, and the willingness to look inward, to examine and understand the triggers that lead you to react. It is, in many ways, the most challenging battle you will ever fight, the battle for your own soul. But remember, every time you choose not to react, every instance in which you guard your inner sanctum against their intrusion, you take a step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be, a person defined not by the influence of others, but by the strength of your own character. Let me be clear, the road to such self-mastery is steep and fraught with challenges. There will be moments when the old patterns of response, those ingrained habits of emotional reactivity, threaten to reassert themselves. In those moments, it is essential to recall that every instance of self-restraint, every decision to remain composed, is a victory in its own right. It is a testament to your commitment to reclaiming your emotional sovereignty. Now, as I speak to you, envision a situation where a toxic individual, someone who constantly undermines your abilities, tries yet again to trigger an emotional outburst. Their words are designed to provoke, to elicit anger, frustration, or a sense of inadequacy. But this time you do not react. Instead, you observe their behavior with a detached curiosity. You understand that their tirade is not a reflection of your worth, but a mirror of their own inner turmoil. And in that moment, you experience a transformation. The words that were meant to wound bounce off you, and their impact dissipates in insignificance. This is the transformative power of self-control, the hallmark of true strength. In our journey through life, it is easy to become entangled in the web of toxic interactions, to allow the opinions and manipulations of others to dictate our internal state. Yet, it is precisely by refusing to grant them that power that you liberate yourself. You begin to see that the validation you seek from others is, in reality, a fleeting and unreliable source of self-worth. True validation must come from within, a deep-seated belief in your own intrinsic value. independent of external affirmation. As you advance on this path, you will find that the toxic individuals, those who once dominated your emotional landscape, begin to lose their influence. Their efforts to unsettle you become increasingly feeble. In their desperation, they may even escalate their tactics, but such escalation only serves to underscore your growing resilience. When you remain undisturbed by their provocations, you reveal the fundamental truth: you are in control of your own destiny, and no one else has the right to dictate the course of your life. I want you to understand that this process of disengagement is not an act of submission. It is an active, deliberate choice to invest your energy in pursuits that truly matter, pursuits that contribute to your growth, your fulfillment, and your ultimate potential. It is a renunciation of the toxic dynamics that seek to drain you, a conscious decision to focus on what enriches your life rather than what detracts from it. Reflect upon the wisdom of the ages. The greatest achievements in human history have been accomplished not through brute force or reactive anger, but through the disciplined pursuit of self-improvement and inner harmony. In this light, the path to overcoming toxicity is not merely a matter of defense. It is an opportunity to forge a life of profound purpose and meaning. You are not defined by the negativity that surrounds you, but by the strength you cultivate within. So, as you stand at this crossroads, I urge you to consider this radical proposition. Instead of allowing toxic people to steal your energy and shape your reality, take back your power by refusing to engage on their terms. Cultivate a mindset that is as unyielding as it is compassionate, a state of being where you are neither swayed by praise nor shattered by criticism, where the only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. In closing, let me leave you with this thought: the journey to self-mastery is a lifelong endeavor, and every day presents a new opportunity to reinforce your inner strength. Embrace the challenge, for it is in the crucible of adversity that the true character is forged. Toxic people will always be a part of the human landscape, but their influence over you is not predetermined. It is yours to control, to diminish, and ultimately to overcome. Now, go forth with the conviction that you are more than the sum of the toxic influences around you. Embrace your journey, master your emotions, and let your inner fortitude shine as a beacon of hope and resilience. This is your call to action, to reclaim your life and shape your destiny on your own terms. Remember, your peace, your strength, and your future are in your hands. And when you achieve that unassailable state of inner calm, you will have truly triumphed over the chaos of the world.